Welcome back to the channel for another video on our 22 WRX. This week we're going to be going over our 500 horsepower build. We'll talk about our engine mods, drivetrain mods, and suspension mods. Let's go. Alright, and here's our 500 horsepower 22 WRX. Just got back from Fenders on the Farm, just a little car show or a little car meet they had today. Pretty cool. It's just a local place about 20 minutes down the road. So 40 minutes round trip, plus we got to hang out there. They had some food trucks. So I'll post a couple pictures of what was going on there. It was a pretty cool event, but we're back home. I just checked my basic fluids. I always check my fluids whenever I get home and before I go, because that's just the most common thing. If an engine goes down, it's usually just because something wasn't checked, and most of the time, a lot of that can be prevented by just checking your fluids before you go on your drive. Let me get a quick walk around and you guys can check out the car and everything. So I did buy this car brand new at the dealership here in Wilmington, North Carolina. It is the ceramic white, and it looks pretty good. I mean, it only has about 22,000 miles on it right now, and it's just been nothing but great the whole ownership. All right, now walking over to the engine bay, we'll talk about some of the mods that we have to the engine to get to that 500 wheel horsepower mark. So just by the hood being popped, of course, you can see ETS front mount kit and an AOS from IAG. So the turbos on this car are underneath the car. I am also rocking an ETS Turbo Kit with a G3900. And then you can see this wire right here. That is the Cobb Flex Fuel. We are tuned by Mike Body with the Cobb Flex Fuel Kit and the ETS Turbo Kit. We haven't officially put it on the dyno, but I mean, we're at 24 PSI on a G3900 with ethanol. I mean, we're over 500 horsepower without the flex fuel kit on and without the extra fueling with the IAG high pressure fuel pump. At 20 pounds, we were making 415 horsepower, and we did get that dyno confirmed. So when we did add the fuel pump, we were able to raise the boost even more. So then we were around 23, 24 pounds on pump gas. And I mean, it felt significantly quicker than the low 400 number that we had confirmed on the dyno. And then we added the flex fuel kit, and now we're tuned on ethanol. So, I mean, this car definitely moves. We are still waiting on the parent intake nozzle to come in. I did get confirmation that it is shipped. So we should have that install and reaction video coming out of the before and after of what this part feels like. So that's basically it as far as power mods go. Now with 500 horsepower, the next thing you're going to ask is, okay, like stock transmission, that's not going to last. And you're right. We have an STI full drivetrain swap in here, carbon fiber drive shaft. We do have stock axles in with the ACT XD clutch kit and an OEM flywheel. So the STI transmission with that clutch can easily handle the amount of horsepower and torque that this car or this engine is making right now. And then we do have a Tomioka Oil Cooler here. This definitely helped lower the temps. After we added the front mount, I did know temps rise just a little bit on the oil temp, and this brought them down even lower than what it was prior. So highly recommend that product. Definitely check them out. So that basically wraps up our engine and drivetrain modifications that we've done to the car. So obviously you see the car is lowered as well. So we are on Fortune Auto coils. That's basically all that we have done to the front. The rear does have a bunch of more stuff done to it because the rear suspension on these cars are non-adjustable. So what I mean by that is when you lower the car, the car is going to naturally camber and tow in. So the adjustment that they have for camber, it's very, very, it's actually zero. You have no adjustment for camber. You only have adjustment on the tow. So they can bring the tow back out sometimes because it is just an eccentric bolt. So it can only go like plus or minus like 0.5 degrees. So if you lower your car too much and it tows in, they're not going to be able to pull it back out without replacing basically everything. And we'll crawl under the car and I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right, and if we go under the car and if we look up in front of our lower control arm, you will see our tow arm. So this will correct basically all of your tow adjustment after you lower the car. Even if you get a lower control arm and you don't have a tow arm, they may not be able to get it steering correctly and get your camber adjustment where you want. But by getting this tow arm from SMY, it will let you get the correct adjustment. And just coming back a little bit more, you'll see our aluminum control arms from SMY, still looking brand new. You'll see our Fortune Auto coil, Cobb end link, white line sway bar, perfect combo. I mean, it drives very nice and it's very smooth. And you do see some blue braces all over the place. Upper control arm from Cusco. Right above me, right there, is the sway bar mount brace. We have the rear subframe braces and the rear differential mount. So with everything all together as a package, it just drives amazing. So that's basically all of the suspension underneath the back of the car. So that basically wraps up all the suspension stuff that we have done to the car. Not a lot of suspension stuff, I guess, to the front because it's basically just like coilovers, but the rear, basically everything has been replaced. The last thing I want to show you is the interior. It's basically a fully stock interior, but I wanted to show you this because we do have our STI 6-speed DCCD fully hooked up with a Spider iWire kit that is discontinued now, as they do have their new iWire DCCD system, but all of this is still functional as far as the diff controller, auto, manual. Now the SI drive doesn't work because this is actually like a boost controller. If you click down, that would have been intelligent mode, sport, and then sport sharp. So this knob doesn't work, but all of these buttons do work. But that's how the DCCD is hooked up. That basically wraps up our video. If you guys have any questions or if I missed anything, you guys just leave a comment below. I will try to get to them. But that's basically our 500 horsepower build. It's really not that hard to make 500 horsepower or even 400 on these VBs. The engines are really stout. As long as you go with a good tuner, you are going to be safe. You can make 400 horsepower on a stock turbo. If you want to make more than 400, you want to get to that 500 range, you are going to have to look at a turbo upgrade, maybe the ETS Turbo Kit. Maybe there's some other turbos out there that can do it, but I do know the ETS kit can do it, no problems. That's all I got for you guys on this one. Till next time. I do want to give a big shout out to TDMi. Even though they weren't part of this build overview today, all of their parts are top tier and they should not be overlooked. Till next time, see you guys.